it's the heavens that declare the glory of God. Look to the skies. Alex Smalley wants everyone to wake up earlier, perhaps pause more at End's Day. Why? To gaze at sunrise and sunsets. Those fleeting moments are the most beautiful, awe-inspiring times of the day. Aren't they? According to Smalley, the leader and researcher of a British study on an awe-inducing weather effects. Very much so. Even more than blue skies or glittering nightscapes, a stunning sunrise or sunset can improve your mood, increase positive emotions, and decrease your stress. Smalley says, when you see something vast and overwhelming, or something that produces the feeling of awe, your own problems can feel diminished, and so you don't worry much about them at all. His findings on wonder echo those of the prophet Jeremiah. Ah, sovereign Lord, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outreached arm. Nothing is too hard for you. King David also beheld God's creation, declaring, the heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work in his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. As for the sun, it rises at one end of the heavens and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. God's glorious creation reflects all the powerful in the Creator. The all-powerful Creator. Why not take the time today to look at the skies, marvel at Him? Where's your favorite place to view the sunrise or the sunset? When you behold the heavens, what do you discover about God? In your glorious heavens, Father, you show me the wonder of your power. You watched the temple being built from the time you were 2 years old. Now at 9, wearing your freshest Sabbath clothes, you stand before the finished house of the Lord. You can hardly breathe. When you do, you smell the cinnamon perfume your mother has allowed you to wear in your hair for the first time for this occasion. Stronger than the aroma of cooked meat from the day's sacrifices, too many for the new altar to hold. It is the smell of thanks, and you hold it in with your excited breath. King Solomon, eyes shining wisdom, stretches out his arms to the Israelites and the important people from far away who have come to celebrate the dedication. The sleeves of his robes flow like liquid gold as he offers his house to the Lord, who is everything. Your eyes wander back to the temple you already know so well. You will never be allowed into its inner rooms. But you have known those 2 bronze pillars at the entrance since the day you watched the men with pulsing muscles haul them into the place. The cherubim you saw the woodcutters carve into the cypress wood doorway are like friends to you. You can imagine the golden strands in their spouting lamps inside the holy place because you saw them all shiny and smooth, and they waited to be taken inside. What you can't imagine is God being small enough to live even in the enormous building that is 9 times taller than your Father. And yet when you see it, even now being blessed by the King, you know God dwells there as everywhere with his people. We were glad he has such a beautiful home. This is what 2 Chronicles reminds us of, and our reading can be found in 2 Chronicles 16, 1 through 9. We read of Asa's last years. It claims, in the 36th year of Asa's reign, Baasha king of Israel went up against Judah and fortified Ramah to prevent anyone from leaving or entering the territory of Asa king Judah. Asa then took the silver and gold out of the treasuries of the Lord's temple and out of his own palace and sent it to Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, who was ruling Damascus. Let there be a treaty between me and you, as there was between my father and your father. See, I am sending you silver and gold. Now break your treaty with Baasha, king of Israel, so he will withdraw from me. Ben-Hadad agreed with King Asa and sent the commanders of his forces against the town of Israel. They conquered Dijon, Dan, Abel-Meam, and all the store cities of Naphtali. When Baasha heard this, he stopped building Ramah and abandoned his work. Then King Asa brought all the men of Judah, and they carried away from Ramah the stones and timber Baasha had been using when he built up Geba and Mitzvah. At the same time, Hanani the seer came to Asa, king of Judah, and said to him, "Because you relied on the king of Aram and not on the Lord your God, the army of the king of Aram has escaped from your hand. Were not the Cushites and Libyans a mighty army with great numbers and chariots and horsemen? Yet when you relied on the Lord, he delivered them into your hand. For the eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth to straighten those whose hearts are fully committed to him. You have done a foolish thing, and from now on you will be at war because of this." Celebrate. Ring the bell. Come everyone and clap for joy. Shout triumphant praises to the Lord. This sounds like Psalms. My friend Heidi rang the bell a few weeks ago, surrounded by people clapping and cheering. She had just finished 12 rounds of chemotherapy treatments and celebrated in a way that has become a tradition in cancer treatments. Around the world, patients loudly ring a bell to mark the end of their treatments, a sound that becomes a symbol of hope for everybody in the treatment center who hears it. According to Heidi, the time spent getting infusions can feel lonely and long. For me, it was one of the hardest realities of having cancer. But it was also a spiritual experience, and I knew I was never alone. God was clearly with me and helped me get through it. I thanked him for his goodness when I rang that bell. Heidi claims that the bell ringing has become even more meaningful, and she keeps remembering it for this. I'm now a survivor, and we are important reminders for all those coming along behind us. When we ring the bell, we are telling them that there is an end to their treatments. As they too will ring the bell someday, they are walking on hope as they continue these treatments. I especially like Heidi's story because I too am a cancer survivor. I finished my 12 chemotherapy treatments before the bell ringing tradition was established. I know there are no guarantees that cancer will never come back, but I join Heidi in celebrating God's goodness. I join Heidi celebrating in God's goodness too, because we don't know the end days of any of our lives, regardless of whether or not cancer or something difficult has transpired recently. So what we can do with the remainder time is to share and rejoice in what God can do for us while we are still here. That part is very real. Lord, I celebrate your blessings upon every cancer patient who rings that bell at the end of their treatment. May they know your presence in celebrating with them. Life principle number 1, Dr. Charles Stanley in Walking with God reminds us that our intimacy with God is our highest priority for our lives. It determines the impact of our lives in general. O God, you are my God. I shall seek you earnestly. My soul thirsts for you. For you have been my help, and in the shadow of your wings I will sing for joy. My soul clings to you. Your right hand upholds me. Sounds like some more Psalms, doesn't it? That's because it is. God has proposed to reproduce his life in and through your life. In order for that to happen, he must reveal himself to you and bring you into an intimate relationship of himself from within. God, who said, "Light shall shine out of darkness," is the one who has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels. Earthen vessels. That's what we are. I like that. So that the surprising greatness of power will be of God and not from ourselves. This comes to us from 2 Corinthians, which we read earlier. Everyone has a direct relationship with God. He is the creator of the world and all that is in it. He is the sovereign ruler of the entire universe. He is the sustainer of everything, provider for every need, and he is the judge of all mankind, no matter who judges us or how we judge others. He's the judge. Since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood through what he has made, so that they are without excuse. You can read that in Romans 1. See, on the basis of Christ's death, you have been declared not guilty. You have agreed that he will pay for your sin and your debt of it in full. You have been reconciled no matter how sinful you have been. He has brought you back into a relationship with himself, and the moment that you trust him as your Savior, he sets you apart for his purposes in life. His purposes. And it's so much more peaceful when they're his purposes and not your purposes. Ever notice that? Pay attention. When you were dead in your transgressions and the uncircumcision of your flesh, he made you alive together with him, having forgiven us all our transgressions, having canceled out the certificate of debt consisting of decrees against us, which was hostile to us, and he has taken it out of the way, having nailed it to the cross. We read that in Colossians. See, in the beginning, God said, "Let us make man in our image." Pay attention to this part, because God comes from within. Why? So we can know him, love him, and receive his goodness and kindness. That's God's purpose. So also we should remember, love God and love each other. God said, "Let us make man in our image according to our likeness." God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. This is written in Genesis. Intimacy says, "God, here's my heart, and I'm willing to unwrap myself before you, my soul, my spirit, and everything that I am. I want you to know there's nothing I am holding back." This is a personal relationship, and this is true intimacy. God is the all-seeing eyes of truth. Get right with that within you. "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there be any hurtful way in me, and lead me in the everlasting way." God wants you to know him fully. He created you so that he could reveal himself to you and express his love through you. Know therefore that God, he is God, the faithful God, who keeps his covenant and his loving kindness to 1,000 generations with those who love him and keep his commandments, according to Deuteronomy. In her walk back towards the word, this is the word for today. I hope that you found something in here useful. I hope that you liked it. If you do, please don't forget to like it. Hit the like button, the share button with your friends for those that need to hear the word, and also the notification bell so you get notifications when I post new videos, which I try to daily. Thank you for coming. Have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day.